Hi, and welcome to Lesson 13, where we are going to work on arcs, circles, and ellipses in 2D in Rhino 6. So, there's nothing in this model. You don't really need to follow anything around. As you can see, I'm in the default toolbars. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to these three icons right here. On the left-hand side, third one down, it says Cascades Circles. So if I click on that triangle, I can get my circle menu to pop out. If I go to the one next to it, on the right hand side, 3 down, that's the ellipse. So I can click the triangle, pull out an ellipse flyout, and then I can go left hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4 down, click on the triangle, and grab the arcs. Okay. Now, in addition to the icons, you could simply type these commands in. For example, I can type in the word circle, enter, and when I do that, I'm going to get a few different options in terms of what type of circle I'd like, whether I want it to be deformable, which has to do with the amount of control points, whether I want it to be vertical or perpendicular to the construction plane, which we haven't covered yet, whether I want it to use 2 points or 3 points, whether I want it to be tangent, whether I want it to fit between points. All of these are options. I'm not going to go into these right now, but they are options available for you. I'm going to cover a couple of we'll start with the arc. Oh, another place you can find them, I'm sorry, is under the curve menu. So if I go up here to curve, below what we were just working on, you can find circle. And again, all the different ways to construct a circle, whether you want it to be tangent to curves, tangent, tangent, select a radius, whether you want it to go around a curve, whether you want that circle to have 2 points or 3 points. Arcs, same thing. Lots of different ways to start and draw these arcs, as well as ellipses from the center, the diameter from the foci, as well as a few other interesting 2D shapes. I'm going to go ahead and click out here, and I'm going to start with an arc. Arcs are very simple, and again, if you get confused as to what's going on, and that can happen as you start to get good with Rhino, sometimes you will stop reading the command line. Happens to me all the time. Alright, so I'm going to say arc, I'm going to click it, I'm going to read the command line, center of arc, I will click here, and then start of the arc, meaning where do I want to start it, and then I can either drag it like that and I can get an arc. Hard to find the center unless of course you do a point and you have your center snap on. Watch this, I can actually go to the side of this, click center, and then I'll find that point. Right? I could repeat that command again, and then this time I could go arc center angle. I could actually click on the point, click on where I'd like it to start, and I could say I want the angle, and you can see endpoint or angle. I could say I want this to be 128 degrees, and I could hit enter, and I'll get a 128 degree ellipse, or arc, I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to go ahead and select these and delete them. Okay, other different ways. This is start, point, point, and then end of the arc, so I can click here. Here's one side, there's a second side, and then you can pull it up. Alright. This one here I would like to use quite a bit for doorways, arc, start, end, and direction of start. So you can click here, and then here, and then you can go ahead and drag it up. And that's a pretty good way to put a radius on a door. I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Alright. And then this last one, start, end, radius. So you can click the start, click the end, and then as you begin to drag it, you actually find where is the midpoint, where is the radius of this, according to the length between these 2 points. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Circles, a couple different things I like to use, and I'm just going to cover these first three. Center radius, so if I click here, it's just simply click on the center of the circle and drag out. If I want this one here, the second one over, it's circle and diameter. So it basically says click on one side of the circle and then click on the other. This one is circle from 3 points. So for example, if I wanted, I'll turn on my near snap. If I wanted this circle to touch these two, click and click. And now I could begin to drag out a radius just like that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Right. And the next one I'd like to cover is the ellipses. First way to do an ellipse is pretty simple. From the center, click click once, pull out, click a second time, and then you begin to create the height of your ellipse. This is ellipse from a diameter, so you actually say this is how wide across my ellipse is going to be. Drag it up. Ellipse from 3 points, or ellipse from foci, sorry. So it'll say first focus, click, second focus, click, third focus. So these remain to the inside. They are foci on the inside of your ellipse. Okay. There's a few other ones. Around a curve, ellipse bicorners, ellipse deformable. Let's go ahead and we're going to create some ellipses. We're going to create a few different objects around curves. All right. So what I'm doing right now is I'm drawing actually I will cover those at a later date. I'm going to go ahead and draw 3 different curves. I'm going to copy this 3 times. So I'm going to go ahead and type copy once, twice, 3 times, enter. And now I'm going to go to my perspective window and I'm going to go ahead, find those 3 curves that I just drew. Here they are. And I'm going to go ahead and create an arc, a circle, and an ellipse around a curve, right? So this one here is, actually I'm sorry, I'm just going to do a circle and ellipse around a curve. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to find circle around curve, and I'm going to click that. It'll say select the curve. Here's the curve. And you can decide whether you want it on the end or in the middle. I'll hit space to repeat that command. Select the curve. Here's the curve. And you can see my cursor is dragging. Whenever I decide to click, and I can do it in the middle of my curve here, I drag out and I get a circle that is perfectly centered around that curve. That's a very, very nice trick. I can do the same thing with an ellipse. Whoops. I have to do the ellipse around curve. There it is. Okay, so it works the same way. Select the curve here, drag out, and drag up. And there's an ellipse around a curve. In fact, I can put that ellipse around this curve, and I can have 2 circles and an ellipse around that curve. Okay, that's lesson 13. There are many, many different ways to draw arcs, circles, and ellipses, and I've just shown you a few. Stay tuned for the next lesson, and thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.